Go get them, President Trump. Reduce that spending. We're behind you 1,000%. Well, he has. He has. 0.1% he's asking us to reduce. And I'm not saying senators shouldn't ask questions and make some changes if they need to be made, but here's the bottom line. It is gut check time. It is gut check time. You either believe in reducing spending or you don't.
Ted Cruz, Senator John Kennedy, and Chuck Schumer. This is Washington in the hot seat. In this fiery Senate moment, Kennedy doesn't just talk, he detonates. What starts as a calm address turns into a full-scale takedown of Schumer, Biden-era spending, and the hollow talk of fiscal responsibility. This is the moment Schumer froze when Kennedy exposed the hypocrisy, defended Trump's push to slash wasteful spending, and left Democrats sitting in stunned silence. Tonight, we're breaking down how Kennedy destroyed the illusion of responsible spending, called out absurd overseas waste, and left the room frozen with one brutal truth. It's gut check time.
We're giving $3,600,000 to Haiti for pastry cooking classes, for cyber cafes, for dance focus groups, for male prostitutes. The president's saying, I don't think so. I don't think that the American people support giving their hard-earned money to male prostitutes in Haiti. So he's asking us to cut it out. He's asking us to reduce the budget by $833,000 because some of President Biden's bureaucrats gave a contract to transgender people, sex workers, and their clients in Nepal.
Right here, Kennedy's drawing a moral line in the sand. You either stand for responsible cuts or you don't. He's daring every so-called fiscal conservative to put up or shut up.
That's why I call it spending porn. Triggers your gag reflex. You look at this stuff and you go, what in God's name? Who decided to do this?
Silence filled the Senate chamber, and Senator John Kennedy did what no Democrat expected. He took a political sledgehammer to Chuck Schumer and the Biden-era spending machine, standing squarely behind President Trump's demand to slash wasteful government spending. With a scorching rebuke, Kennedy called out billions wasted overseas on bizarre projects, pastry classes in Haiti, insect powder in Madagascar, even funding for sex workers abroad, while American families struggle to afford groceries and gas. Tonight, we break down the fiery moment when Kennedy left Democrats speechless and exposed the hypocrisy behind their spending responsibility talk. In a calm but lethal tone, Senator Kennedy announced that President Trump is sending a rescission bill, calling for a tiny cut in the $7 trillion budget, just 0.1%. But that 0.1%, it exposed something Washington feared: waste nobody wants to defend publicly. Let's dive in.
I want to say, Mr. President, next week, President Trump's going to send us over what's called a rescission bill. What does that mean? Well, we've got a $7 trillion budget, okay? I don't know how much of that $7 trillion is waste, but every fair-minded person would have to agree that there's some money being spent in that $7 trillion that shouldn't be spent. It just shouldn't. It's wasted money. And so President Trump and this Congress made one of its objectives trying to reduce spending. Not spending that we need to reduce, but spending that needs to be reduced.
That's the moment you feel it. Kennedy's disgust is the audience's disgust. He's saying what every normal person thinks: what are we even funding anymore? It's a punchline that lands like a gut shot.
I call it spending porn. And the president has sent us a bill. He's saying to Congress, I want you to reduce spending in the current budget by $9.1 billion. And let me tell you what the spending, what constitutes the spending I want to reduce. Well, first, $9.1 billion out of a $7 trillion budget, we're not talking about a lot of money here. We're talking about 0.1%. That's all. That's point one. Point two, you need to look at what the president's asking us to cut out. I'll just give you a couple of examples. I didn't make this up. The president is saying we're giving $3 million to Iraq to produce Sesame Street. Maybe we could use that money for something else. The president is saying we're giving $3 million to Zambia for circumcisions and vasectomies. The president's saying we don't need to do that. We've got other priorities. We're giving $500,000 to Rwanda to buy electric buses. The president is saying to us, Congress, we don't need to be spending the money on that. There are more important things. We're spending $67,000 to give insect powder to kids in Madagascar. I don't even know what insect powder is, but the president's asking us to cut it out.
This is Kennedy's mic drop zone. It's not about identity politics, it's about principle. He's painting a brutal picture. Your money wasted on nonsense you never approved. You can feel the chamber's oxygen vanish.
We're giving $3,600,000 to Haiti for pastry cooking classes, for cyber cafes, for dance focus groups, for male prostitutes. The president's saying, I don't think so. I don't think that the American people support giving their hard-earned money to male prostitutes in Haiti. So he's asking us to cut it out. He's asking us to reduce the budget by $833,000 because some of President Biden's bureaucrats gave a contract to transgender people, sex workers, and their clients in Nepal. The president's saying, I don't want to do that. And he's right. That's enough. You get the idea. That's why I call it spending porn. Triggers your gag reflex. You look at this stuff and you go, what in God's name? Who decided to do this? Well, Congress didn't. The bureaucrats did. It's money we appropriated, but we didn't tell them to go spend money, $833,000, and give to sex workers in Nepal. They just took the money we appropriated and used it for that. And so the president is asking us to do what's called a rescission, to cancel the spending. Now, I have listened, I've been here 8 years, Mr. President, and I've listened to a whole bunch of people talk about the need to reduce spending. But you got to watch what people do, not what they say. Because talk is cheap. And around here, I've learned pretty quickly that reducing spending, it's like going to heaven. I want to go to heaven. I bet you want to go to heaven, Mr. President. I bet our guests in the gallery want to go to heaven. But everybody wants to go to heaven. Raise your hand if you're ready to take the trip today. Most people, you are, sir, and I admire that. But most people want to live a little longer. And that's the way it is with reducing spending around here. I want to reduce spending. I support it, but not just yet. Because I've got this project. Well, and I've listened to that. And I've especially listened to it for the past 100 days. Go get them, President Trump. Reduce that spending. We're behind you 1,000%. Well, he has. He has. 0.1% he's asking us to reduce. And I'm not saying senators shouldn't ask questions and make some changes if they need to be made, but here's the bottom line. It is gut check time. It is gut check time. You either believe in reducing spending or you don't. And if you talk the game and say, let's reduce spending, and you vote against this bill, in my opinion, you ought to hide your head in a bag. Because you will be able to cut the hypocrisy with a knife. It's real, real hard, Mr. President, to preach temperance from a bar stool. It's gut check time. We need to pass this bill.
That's your closer. Kennedy won the room. Schumer had nothing. The Democrats were silent. Even the media couldn't spin this one. It's the moment the Senate's hypocrisy got dragged into the light, and no one had the guts to clap back. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more no-filter political showdowns like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, Drop a comment below with your thoughts on Senator Kennedy's takedown, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss when we drop the next big moment Washington doesn't want you to see. Subscribe, comment, and join the fight for truth. We're just getting started.